You know what I love about the cloth diaper sewing group? That those guys, ladies, are always so easygoing. It's like there's no right or wrong way to do anything. But in the spirit of this cloth diaper sew along, I've decided to do a second one just to show the other method for serging. And I want to make sure that I didn't actually try my fabric or my pattern on this before. So what I'm going to do this time, as opposed to what I just showed you, is I'm going to cut, we're going to say to hell with my blade on my serger, and we're going to do it like everybody's been doing it on this group. So what you're going to see is I'm actually going to draw a line close to the pattern, and then I'm going to cut it all out away from the pattern a little bit. Now, I'm actually going to be finishing both of these diapers this week in the sew along, but I'll only do one of them live because it's just going to take too much time. But you'll get to see both of them. Don't worry. Let's use a chalk. Sorry for getting in the way there. Alright, let me talk about my layers here. I have, just like the other diaper, I've got a layer of fleece, except I ran out of that pretty marbly green-blue stuff. So this is orange. 2 layers of the super heavy organic bamboo fleece, and then a layer of microfleece. And I have layered these exactly the way that it's going to end up. The reason that I want to do that is because I don't want to have to move the layers again. So they're not going to be separated ever again. It's just their final state. And so I'm just going to draw around them, just like I did before. Although it would be super helpful if this chalk wasn't so hard to use. Let's find that marker that I had before. My fabric stretches, and so the chalk is trying to stretch the fabric out. It's making it hard to use. Now these markers, you think that they're not marking when you first lay it on there, and then give it a couple of seconds and you can actually see the marks. So I'm actually drawing right around the pattern, but that's not the lines I'm going to cut on. It's the lines I'm going to sew on. It's not marking very good at all. Told you guys it was dull. I bought new markers, but they're upstairs. What I bought was actually, I was in Target earlier today and picked up some of those kids' washable markers. All right. Done. There you go. So I'm actually left-handed, and my husband is right-handed, so when we each use this, we have to flip the blade around. You should keep the blade on the side that you can see. So if you got the blade on this side, you should have it in the other hand. That way you'll be able to see what you're doing. Now stay about half-inch away or so. Hope my blade is not too dull to get all the way through. Nope, it's good. There we go. 4 layers is a challenge. No need to be fancy. There we go. Peel all that away. So now what we need to do is go to our other 2 layers and put in the snaps. So what I'll do is I'm going to transfer. Let's turn this around here because I'm going to put the snaps in on this side. Transfer all of our snap markings. And only put the snaps on the outer 2 layers. I'm just transferring the sides of the pattern over so I can get it lined up, because I don't want those 2 layers. Line it up here, and then make sure it's lined up at this end, and it looks like it is. Split the difference between the 2. Place your snap markings in there. Like I said before on the last one, I'm not going to put any of these rise snaps in because my kid doesn't need them. It's already 16 months, so there's no reason to have them. And let's do these 2 here for the inserts. And I'm not going to put the wing snaps in. I like to add them last. Alright. Done. Let's insert my snaps. I'm not going to make you watch this part. There's 2. And 4. Here's 6. And 8. And there were 2 other snaps here in the middle on my pattern that I did not do, and that's because my little boy is too big for those 2 as well. So that is on the outer layer, and now I'm going to fold that back down, turn the whole thing around, and do these 2 on the inner 2 layers. Ran that across my snaps. There we go. Try to keep your layers from moving too much. Except mine just did. So now we'll fold these top 2 layers up, and we will just go through these 2 layers. These are also sockets, but they go in from the back side because they're for our snap-in soakers. I ran out of size 20 snaps, so this one has little bitty snaps, but that's alright, it'll still work. I didn't run out completely, I have enough to do that other diaper that I already started on, so we're just gonna use this other size. Just the top 2 layers here. Trying not to move the fabric too much. Try to find a socket. The last 2 snaps here for now. Lay that back down. Oh, I put that in backwards. Give me a second. I'll get that back out. So sorry about that. Let's try that again. New cap in this way this time. Up through the top. That happens to me sometimes. Goes in the wrong way. Or I put the wrong one in. That happens too. I put a socket where there's supposed to be a stud or something. It happens. Okay. So now we have 2 sockets, and then on the other layers, let's make sure those are still lined up with those lines that we had. All right. Going to pin around this. There's my pins. This will keep all the layers secure. I'm not going to pin it in very many places. More or less just don't want anything migrating on me. I am staying away from the lines on purpose. I don't want to accidentally run over my pins with the blade. Purposely be cutting the fabric with that blade, and I just ran over one earlier today, so let's not do that again. I put my pins in with the ball to the inside. The reason for that is I'm left-handed, and so when I pull them out, it's easier for me to pull them out with my left hand this direction. You can put pins in whatever direction you want. Ouch. Just not into your finger. Alright? Pins don't go in our fingers. Alright, now the same theory is going to apply as the other diaper that I'm making. And that is that I will be only sewing from here all the way around to here, and I'm going to leave a gap here so that I can stick my hand in there and insert the snaps. So the major difference is that I did not cut on the line. I cut away from the line, and then I'm going to be serging on that line. We'll see if there's improvement there. Hold on, let's move to the sewing machine. So now we're at the serger. I hope you're close enough to see and not be bounced around too much. I will hit the cords. I tend to bounce you around a little bit. My husband's not here to hold the camera steady, so just you and me tonight. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just get in there. I want to leave a gap here. This will be the first time that I have purposely cut this much fabric off with a serger before. And I'm only willing to do it because this is a brand new serger and I know that blade is sharp. The last serger that I owned or had used did not have a very sharp blade and could not keep up with this. So let's do our thing here, shall we? I'm just going to head on in there, and then I'm going to put that line on this line of the foot and try not to stretch it at all. Let's just stay on the line, ignore what's coming out of the machine. I have to say, I don't think I'm very good at this, but it's working out. I think my biggest problem is that this is getting all bunched up. Don't know what to do with it. It's definitely faster this way. There's a plus. Maybe it's worth dulling the blade, huh? One of the upsides is that I'm not worried about making sure my layers are lined up. I'm just going. I hope what I end up with looks good afterwards. Feels a little bunched up on the back right here, but we'll see. Okay, we're coming up on a turn. Take this turn nice and easy. I didn't do that very well. Sorry about the bouncing. Yeah, I definitely didn't do that wing very well, but it will catch pee and poop. That stretched a little. It's going to end up and exits. Let's go back over to the table and see what we ended up with. I'm curious. Alright, here it is. Let's see. Get these pins out of here so I can stretch it and pull it freely. We'll compare the two, shall we? All right, now both of these diapers have very, very thick layers. I did 2 layers of the super heavy bamboo fleece, a layer of anti-pill fleece, and a layer of very thin microfleece. So they both have that going for them. They're both a little bit squirrely, squiggly. There's a downside. These snaps didn't get perfectly lined up because the layers shifted. I can adjust for that simply by making this side here line up with that side. I'll just put it right back into the serger and turn that so that it lines up. Next time I will face up. It's actually skewed a little bit too. I will put the lines on the side with the snaps, and I think that will make it significantly better. So learn that lesson from me, and I will adjust this side. I don't know, it just doesn't look too straight. Let's look at this one here. So this one here, while still wavy because it's very, very thick, can you even see where I'm looking at? Yeah, down here. These tabs here line up better. Everything's very straight down here, whereas this one's not. It's smaller here, this gap here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a line and even this up so that it looks the same on both sides. I think I just did a bad job of staying on my line, and next time I will draw the line on the outer fabric instead. So what I'm looking for is, actually, let's grab a, do I have a tape measure around here? There it is. I'm going to go up at an angle and we'll go 1 inch off, make a line. So that's where I want to be. And we'll go, looks like 1.5 inches off this side. That's fine. So it's going to come across here, go like that. How about this second snap here? 1.25 inches, 1.25 inches. So that should help if I sew on that line next. Now that's the outer. Well, I'll just cut it. So let's sew on that. Make that turn. Give me just a moment. Serged that. Stretch these here. Cut the threads. If I can get a hold of that, I should be able to stretch that down. If you grab a hold of those threads, stretch that down. Alright, that looks better. It's not perfect, but trial and error, guys. Woohoo! Alright, so another thing that I'm finding here is my hole is not big enough. I'm sorry, I didn't finish the sentence. My hole is not big enough to actually stick my hand in there, so let's go ahead and cut that. There we go. So after I case my elastic, I will go back across and I will actually sew from about here to here, and that way this will be evened up. and it'll cut it as along the way too. So I'll just stitch that so that it's nice and straight. See what I mean? Okay, so 2 different ways to serge a fitted. Yeehaw.